the nature is healing. We are now getting anime waifus. Well, not really, not in person, but still, we can see anime waifus.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even some indie developers are getting anime waifus on their shows, but we can bring that out on the news later on. So,
We have a show to do, betul tak, Matt?
yeah.
And that's the start of dia.log then. Okay. So, somewhere the music did play. I'll make a work on that. It's okay. That's in a way. It's fine. It's fine. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to dia.log, the Gamer Matters podcast.
Yeah.
Episode 81.
I thought it was 82.
No. It's 81.
Okay.
Don't question the master of the house.
Alright.
Look, I have a file on 79 and 80, and I don't have 81 yet.
Okay, good point.
Fair enough.
Alright. Okay. So introducing the panel, we have Danial over there.
Hello.
And the other side is Anan.
What up?
And I guess now we can see a recurring guest lah. Friends of the podcast, Kakuchopurei, MrToffee. Say hello.
Hey, what's up? Hey.
And I am Amirul Mekronos Ashraf. And oh boy, I think game season is kinda like, for 2021, is kinda heating up. At least for the big titles. I don't know about you guys.
A lot of stuff are slowly starting to creep up. I think I'm getting a lot more codes for indie games as of late. Especially an expansion for the Man-Eater, which unfortunately I have no time because I never finished the first Man-Eater. But we can talk about other games later on lah. I mean, I think this week was super packed. I mean, there was a game which I teamed up with my good friend Meck for I think a couple of times, which we are going to bring up pretty often. So do you want to jump into that?
Oh, we're gonna jump straight into the fray. Press 3 really quick. I'm gonna kinetic leap into the big thing we have to talk about. We have to talk about Outriders.
Oh, you get to play together. Woo!
You get to stay online for 5 minutes or 5 hours, depending on how stable the server is.
I mean, it's better than doing crossplay with PC and console. You got literally a second.
A second, you get 1 minute and then dies.
Man, shout out to
You're living on literal borrowed time.
Okay, before we start, the game had like pretty rough launch. Just recently they have already addressed some stuff, and we'll see some fixes coming next week by the time of this recording. But still, man, that here's the thing. The whole bit about Outriders is we've already talked it out before on a previous episode about the demo. I think that me and Daniel are very into it. For at the time, we have to talk about this a bit more. The thing is, we tried getting crossplay to work. They've mentioned it's not even a warning. It's like a soft reminder, something. Hey, PC crossplay is kind of broke right now. That if you try to connect, one player will eventually get kicked out. It sounds very the wording makes it like, oh, there's a chance it can work. It's just that you have like limited time to get it work. Okay then, Daniel, let's try it out. Maybe it works. Literally, each time we connect, 1 second after the loading, after the black screen, pop, disconnect.
Oh my god! Wow.
And also, it either crashes me or it crashes Daniel's console. He's on the Xbox.
That's right.
And then, oops, it go wrong. And for me, on PC, and the UE4 crash menu with the word madness comes in. Madness is apparently the code name for the game. So each time I'm like, yeah, this is madness, man. It keeps on crashing.
That's why.
The words out of your mouth, huh?
Man. Okay. Put it that aside. So, Toffee, how do you find Outriders? You've reached the end game, right?
Yeah, I basically am playing Expedition while trying to get my world tier up to like probably 10, 11, so I can proceed to do efficient farming for a particular stage or a hunt during the story mode. But generally, for my playthrough, I think I played about 30 hours or 20 for 25 hours. You can take a look at my Steam name and my time for that. I was using the not Technomancer, Trickster.
Trickster.
Right. I did use a Technomancer for probably 2-3 hours because I kind of like the keep away turret aggro drawing style, but at the same time, Trickster has time bending and chrono powers, so how can I refuse, right? And it turns out Trickster, unless you play a specific build, is actually one of the tougher builds I played, because I think I died countless times when I'm playing it at like world tier 9, 8 or so, to the point where if I'm fighting bosses, I'm like, I kind of want to see how this ends, so I'm just going to put it down to tier 5. And then, lo and behold, my experience was much more manageable as the Trickster. Because at the end of the day, if you're playing it at max tier, this third-person shooter is meant to be played with other people, as the marketing, as the developers have mentioned time and again. And true enough, when I was playing with Meck, I think my experience with the game was much more straightforward, more, how do you say, I won't say easier, more like
Manageable. Yeah.
Because Meck can actually do his Devastator thing, basically be the tank, while I can basically teleport, do the chrono bubble thing, kill everyone in range, and then get out as soon as possible before the enemies realize that they have to target me eventually. Or sometimes they target Meck, which is good because Meck's class is actually is better at drawing aggro anyway.
Look, you send me all those like critic bombs, the small monsters that keeps on like overwhelming you, right? For me, I just need a shotgun blast away and all those things that they keep on chipping the health, pop full health.
Oh, nice.
But
nice.
Right now, with my build as a Devastator, I went full tank. Like the way you can spec your class, like there's like 3 different branches.
The hero trees.
Yeah, I feel like it's like top is all weapon damage, middle is like survivability, and bottom is like for if like your anomalies, your skill powers. I think that's the general rule for all classes. I've checked out Devastator and Pyromancers. They are like that. Is Trickster?
Trickster, I went for the bottom one. Basically, I power up all my augment tools and everything. So for me, before the thing happened, I've always been using the build that it's in the current meta right now before the update that's coming up, which is basically using the twisted rounds and a way to weaken enemies.
But so twisted round is like when you do the pirouette thing where you just shoot, or basically you become Dante from Devil May Cry. You shoot everything around the sector.
Pretty much. Your bullets basically deal, I guess, double damage.
That's a cool move, man.
That's a very good move. For the Technomancer, you deal toxic damage, and the Pyromancer, I think it's like burn mark damage, right? If I recall. Twisted, I guess for the twisted rounds, it's actually a bit better because the cooldown is shorter compared to the rest of the bullet augment skills that other classes have. Like when I was doing that, I was basically using that the entire time, and then my other skills basically just open up the chrono bubble and teleporting behind enemies and shoot them from the back. A good tactic is if you focus more on the hero tree at the top, because at the top it's actually they buff up more your damage if you deal. You basically buff up your backstab damage, which would be the smarter move eventually lah. But for my current build, I buff up my augment damage, which is the bottom hero tree for the Trickster. Which is why I realized that, oh my god, my bullets are dealing more damage to the enemy captains more often than usual. So I'm like, okay, not bad. But my character cannot take that much damage lah, so I have to basically play run and hide. I have to run around a lot.
Yeah, like for me, like okay, you've mostly hovering around tier 9, tier 10, world tier.
Right. For the challenge tier, I think it's like I'm already at 4.
Okay.
But for the world tier, I'm at 9 already.
Okay. So because of my very stonky tankiness, I've been playing right around world tier 10, 11, and challenge tier 4, 5. The thing is, I mean, sure, I got the good loot, right? But the thing is, I managed to chug through the content purely because I'm a stonky boy. But it is a long slog. The enemies become basically bullet sponges. and it's just a slog to get those health bar downs. And if you meet an elite enemy, basically the mini boss S enemies, which have like anomaly skills just like you, if somehow that one guy has a healing skill in their roster, in their pool of abilities, and oh no, everything, all your skills is also on cooldown. Oh god damn it, he has full heal. Start again.
Oh, that'll be annoying, dude. That'll be very annoying.
But yeah, for me it's plausible to actually just play solo. But that's the thing. Like if you want to play solo, I recommend going Devastator just because of the survivability you can do. You just tank the damage. You feel nothing. Your health is either full or very low. Nothing in between.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the thing. Where the fun bit about Outriders is, even though the game keeps on challenging you, or hey, you can go up higher difficulty, but I think it's totally it's totally acceptable if like, oh, you just want to see through the content, just bump it down lah, bump down the world tier lah. Even for me, I've reached almost the end. No, each time there's a boss encounter, I drop 2 tiers down, because oh boy, I do not want to like slug it out through the
you don't want to spend so many hours playing through that.
It's the fact that, oh, I figure out the boss. It's the matter of how long will the damage go down, will the health go down. I've already known the patterns, and at one point there's one boss fight. The problem is not the monstrosity that's like so big that it would fit the screen. That's not my main enemy. My main enemy is the ads. There's that freaking oversized mosquito, the streaks, that dragonfly that keeps on doing toxic damage. Screw the streaks, man.
Oh yeah, the poison damage is very annoying for that dude. That's why I was so happy that all my armor, when I do the mods, that's one thing I like about Outriders, the customizability of the armor that you get.
Man.
You can keep your armor, you can level up your armor with titanium currency, which you get from bosses, and you can, when you discard and you dismantle items, you get to keep all the power ups that you dismantle, basically from the purples and from the legendaries and from the blue items you get, and then you can use those power ups and put them on the armor that you're wearing right now. You can switch, mix and match, and you can even go so far as to make sure all your armor powers up that one skill you use the most in your class, i.e. twisted rounds for me lah. So most enemies aren't a problem as long as my twisted rounds are around. So yeah.
That's the one thing that I like the most about Outriders, is that you don't have to wait until the end game before it gets good. Unlike the Division 2.
Stuff earlier on too, if you know what to farm.
Yeah, it's the thing that those the thing about like the mod system, like, and the crafting thing, right? You can keep a pool of those power ups, as you said, to put into other gears later on, right? All the system are hidden, tucked away into the Vision 2, but at the end game. That's why I said that game finally shines when after you slog it out to the 30 hours of very boringness. Yes. But in Outriders, you are encouraged to already engage with the system right from the get go. You like that loot, you level up that loot.
Yeah. Keep it purple, level up, and then the powers that you want and like Minefield is probably my favorite from because tier 2, I shoot one enemy, they explode. The damage is actually pretty substantial. It hits everyone around them, especially when it comes to fighting the aliens, the xenomorphs, the white xenomorphs. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That white thing that keeps on like leaping around and have armor, right? Oh man.
One I have to use a specific power up. I have to use my Cyclone Blade. So basically, my character becomes a blade of death for like a few seconds. Because when they start swarming me, instead of teleporting, it's better I just use that move, and that move heals me as well. So it's probably the only way I can survive attacking the aliens in that planet.
Yeah, and on the topic of the mods itself, right? Some of the variants that they do synergize really well. When you have like a lot of potential to make creative builds. Like for me, one of the mods is the cycle. It's called the cycle. It's very specific. It's very situational. I don't think all builds will love this, but for the Devastator I'm doing, it does. I think it's like you get extra weapon damage based on health regen. And guess what? In the Devastator Tech tree, the class tree, you can gain like half regen on there. Also on that tree, you can gain extra weapon damage based on how many nodes of half regen that you've unlocked. So you can stack those weapon damages.
Oh, nice.
I mean, you can stack like the same mods itself, but if you like creatively figure out, oh, this mod can synergize with this class tree and can synergize with your weapon here and there, there's a lot of potential there. I think you can even synergize with other players as well. Like, there's, I think, mods that increases armor based on who are with you. Like, there's one if allies are near me, I get armor. The other one is like, if allies are near me, they get armor. So yeah, there's a lot of potential. Like, if you like to play around with the RPG bits, it is living up to the RPG moniker. It's more than just your typical looter shooter.
Yeah, and I think the best part is, I think we're only just talking about tier 2 mods. Like the tier 3 stuff, you can get it if you discard your legendaries, which you will get a lot if you play through Expedition. I believe Expedition is probably the only way you can get, like, you know, your chances for legendaries are slightly higher, especially when you climb up the tiers more and more, which is why we kind of need to actually find more people to play with, lah. You know,
Yeah,
because it really gets hard. It really does get tough.
dude, I tried solo. Because
It's very hard solo, man. I tried.
man. I couldn't pass tier 4. Each time I keep playing tier 3, and then tier 3 or tier 4 sometimes, but usually I don't get the goal.
Yep.
Because it's like a time trial, basically. The whole bit, for the simple explanation about expeditions is like, think Destiny 2's strikes, but shorter, and you should make it shorter. You have to be efficient with your builds. You are encouraged to play around with your builds to make your farming faster.
Yeah. I think this is like a loop that you have to go through. If you cannot pass through a particular tier, you have to play through the lower tiers so that you can get the gear you want. You scrap the legendaries to put the power-ups on other tools that you want to synergize. And then you get to go on and on. So far, like, my only pro tip is, if you can get the chem plant, go for the chem plant level. Because, you know, they change the levels every time you complete one. So chem plant seems to be the one that's a bit more straightforward, because you fight the human ads, and then at the end of the level, you're in a circle. You get like a variation of alien ads and human ads. It's, how do I put this? It's a bit more straightforward compared to the other levels I played.
Yeah, some of them like, they have like, hold the line. As in like you have to like, you know, the capture the King of the Hill style of objective. Yeah, I have to stay in this position.
That one was pretty tough. I remember that.
There's what I forgot the name, but you go back into the war zone. Oh man, that's a slog.
Oh my god,
That was a slog.
Yeah. I can't imagine how bad it will be in the expedition mode now.
Man. Okay, by the way, Daniel has been quiet. I think he has some stuff to say about it.
What?
Yeah.
I have
need to
been
hear
quietly like just listening to you guys. Oh wow, having fun in other things. Because for me, I've been stuck at. You guys are in tier 10, 11. I'm stuck in tier 5 because, for a number of reasons. One of which is that, I've been using the pyromancer like a dumbass that I am.
Okay.
The middle, so I am now in the middle tier, which, if I research it right, is like, I think armor on your base.
Yeah. Survivability.
Yeah. Which doesn't really work because
Dude,
I'm...
no. You know what? Yesterday, when I heard you, I mean, this is off the record. You've already hinted to me that you have like some words to say about Riders, right? When I heard that, I went back and try and start a pyromancer build. You know what? Don't go for survivability. You go for weapon leech. You go for weapon leech at the top. Go get that. You really need that. The problem with it's not a problem. The thing about pyromancers, the way they play, is that you need to be far enough so that you don't get shot because you are squishy. But you need to be close enough so you can use your skills, because you need to use your skills
enemies to get the health.
And then you tag. in the ideal way is that you keep on tagging people, and then hopefully your other allies will finish the job. I think that's the ideal way of having a pyromancer. If you're doing solo, or you gonna think
it's a different version of hell basically.
Look.
It's like
okay, the thing about Outriders is that you don't have a heal button. You have to kill to heal, and each class have like different gimmicks of how they heal. Technomancers are the most straightforward because they need to be out of the combat. Basically, they are the long range guys. You just shoot. Basically, you have weapon leech, which is very basic, very boring. But you know what? Very consistent. Very consistent. You know what?
Every content creator, every friend I know who actually got through most of the expeditions, they are either using the Trickster or they're using the Technomancer. Because, again, Technomancer basically can draw aggro from you because of the turrets. And if you are max level, I think you can summon 2 of them at the same time. I think. Which actually is very helpful.
See, Division still is OP, man. If you play like Division, it's still effective. Oh, man.
There you go.
oh my
Seriously,
god.
it's one of the strongest. Yeah. It's one of the strongest.
And here I am.
Yeah,
And here I am, the dumbass.
you know, pyromancers are the most technical of the classes. You know, like how fighting games are, like the shotos are the straightforward ones are usually the pretty strong. I say usually because Ryu is not that strong right now. And then you stuck here with the guy that you need to do pretzel motions to get the most out of them.
Oh, you're talking about Geese Howard from King of Fighters, or that's a different character. I think you mean like characters like Gen from Street Fighter 4. Very technical because he has 2 fighting styles. You can switch back and forth, but he either is a charge character or a motion character. So I believe the Pyromancer, there's a bit of complexity to using that, although it's not as complex as Gen, but there is a nuance to him lah. Like I think you may need to actually go for the top build, like Meck suggested.
Seriously,
a bit late when I'm already halfway through the middle.
Dude, one more thing. You can reset anytime.
Yeah, there's no cost for respecking. I believe it's free. Yeah.
It's free. You
This
can
isn't Diablo
just
2 anymore. We're like in the new age now.
again. Outriders lets you experiment. You let you play around with the builds. If you don't like it, if you don't like that mod in that gear, swap it out. If you don't like this class points you've invested, respec.
Oh, and you also have volcanic rounds. Apparently, that's pretty useful for Pyromancer. Anything that augments your bullets and gives you infinite ammo for a short time is very useful in Outriders.
No, like besides my dumbassery of using a pyromancer, tapi like I don't know, I don't feel like the shooting is tak tahu lah, I've been playing a lot of shooters, so sekarang like it blends together like a very bad a cocktail. Tapi like Outriders with shooting kan, I don't like it anymore. Like demo me and full game me are now in very different realms. Like the shooting kan, like for some of the guns like the SMG, it just, I don't know, doesn't feel as good anymore.
Okay. Maybe like
because
try out the other guns, because there's like the assault rifles. You've got like, I think there's something like a scout rifle, but they call it something else. Oh, the automatic sniper rifle.
I hate that gun. It doesn't work. Like
I want
okay,
to for Technomancer, but I'm not so sure.
yeah, that's why.
So
like
Pyromancer would be like something assault rifle, a light machine gun, or
like I am right now stuck at this I haven't gone that far yet because I'm stuck at the what's I call it, the swamp area.
The swamp. All right.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you've made the giant mosquitoes. Oh man, you'll get
Yeah.
man.
Giant spider.
I'm just like, I am like right now thinking like, oh, maybe I just drop to 1 and just log it out because I don't really care about playing this game anymore.
Dude,
Yeah, okay, go ahead, dude. That's really,
it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it does hurt your pride a bit. Like every time I keep on the dumbass me keep on retrying a boss fight over and over again, and then the gentle reminder comes in the tooltip. Oh, look here. Remember you can swap down. That's basically easy mode is now available. It's now It's not selectable.
The Luigi mode.
Yeah, Luigi mode. And plus, it is a group game. If you cannot find people in time around your playtime, then yeah, just tone down the difficulty for a bit. Because at the end of the day, once you get the loot you want and the upper to the mods and whatnot, then the game becomes a breeze, or at least becomes manageable at the very least. It's all about just finding the correct loot when you're playing it, when you're dismantling, and you find the correct gun and the best power up to synergize with for the Pyromancer.
Yeah, if someone's complaining about Outriders difficulty, I would say there's 15 difficulty options you can play.
Yeah,
and
that's why.
everyone is totally viable. But if you don't jive with the shooting bit, I can understand that point of view, because let's say Outriders, if you try and remove everything that's cool about in terms of the combat, right? If you remove the superpowers, then let's say just have it try and be a cover shooter just with the guns.
It's a very boring cover shooter.
It's very boring cover shooter.
It's not only boring; it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel good with the controller. Even in controls, like your character is running faster than the animation shows you. It feels weird. And then when you're like trying to get into cover, go out into cover, it's a bit iffy. It's not consistent.
Oh my god! I have a story to tell you about this. I think there were so many times I died because I end up getting stuck on cover a bit. And then when I turned off the option to press double tap on the keyboard, it was more manageable. I just had to remember to press control to dodge, to do the roll. Because if I don't do that, of course, like, gonna get shot a lot. If I turn off the double tap, the quick double tap to roll and whatnot, the game is more manageable for me. So there's a control tip right there, lah. If you want to die this.
If you have a complaint about that, I have a complaint about too. Because
let's go. Complaint time.
I mean, that's the rough bits about the game. But I don't think like just because of like, you have a lot of the skills in play and the way the play styles that the game is encouraging you to engage, it doesn't feel like it doesn't hurt that much of the experience unless you try and play it like a cover shooter. This is a cover shooter that is fundamentally a cover shooter, a bad one, but it is designed with the sensibility of a boom shooter. Because enemies keep on holding, man, every time. Like, okay, you think the first wave is already completed, you just left like one enemy, right? Boom, one another was already coming in. No warning whatsoever. It just keeps on coming. Feel that? Retry from the top.
And I think there were actually a couple of levels where there are like two different rooms. You think there was actually a checkpoint in the middle, but no. You have to start all over from the start of that fight if you die.
Oh, I've done that before. It is infuriating, to say the least.
I mean, I'm not saying you should implement this for expeditions because they're meant to be hard. But I'm saying at least some of the single player missions at least have that, as well as try to make it offline. But of course, I can't do that for some reason. But at the same time, I kind of wished. I mean, I'm fine with the arena shooter portion, but also, I don't know, like without the powers and without all this experimentation, the slog really feels real, especially when we mentioned before that this game could be like maybe 10 hours shorter to get to expeditions, you know?
Yeah, but for me on that one, I feel like it's just nice, but I wouldn't say anything about people cutting it, making it shorter. It's not overly long. At least there's that.
Okay,
I've been through longer hells of grinding looter shooters.
Oh yeah, there are worse games lah. But yeah, Avengers is one big example.
Oh no!
God damn it! I have to remember that there are worse titles. So at the very least, I still give Outriders the benefit of the doubt. I mean, it only came out a few days anyway, so like a week, a week. So I'm happy so far. Still need some tweaks here and there, but I'm sure People Can Fly can sort their shit out. They did mention that they're done with the game, barring a few updates here and there. What you see is what you get, basically. So I hope they can change their mind, because I think there's room for improvement for Outriders in terms of maybe pacing and what's next after you get to the Eye of the Storm at the end of the expedition, which I don't think we're going to get for a long while. So.
Yeah.
Oh, the Star Wars Squadron punya style of, nah, that's it, we're gonna do it. That's it, we're gonna do. And then a few months later, oh, here's some new ships for you.
I won't mind a paid inspection. I think this game works well with a paid inspection.
For an old school paid DLC, yeah, like new levels, new monsters, maybe some puzzles in the fights, because the arena shooter bit can be a bit. I think that's why it makes it a slog lah, because like every single fight is basically a arena shooter, which is fine, especially with the power ups. But maybe have some variety, like how Destiny pulled off theirs when they had the later expansions and the later strikes and raids.
Oh yeah, it's Outriders is extremely one dimension, but that one dimension is very cool.
Yeah, it does.
But
feel
if
good.
you don't like, but yeah, it can get, as you said, it can get sloggy because of it's the same thing. You going back through the same motions again. Yeah, Destiny is a good job, like making it like if you don't like if you have enough with your your story progression, okay, you have PvP over there. Okay, you're not enough with the PvP. Oh, you can try a weird version of Dota with me, Gambit over there. Okay, cool. Division has also kind of one note in the same way, but it helps that the world itself is fun to explore.
Yeah.
Because they've made the world not only believable, but it's like fun to like go through all the nook and crannies. Outriders is not that kind of game. You basically just go level to level.
Yeah. I mean, you got like nice vistas like the forest, the desert level, the blue forest, the ruins, and the shanty towns and the swamps. But I don't know. I'm not really invested with what's going on with the game. I mean, sure, there were some dark humor moments, like
Oh man,
the one mission. I think I might have one mission at the start of the game where you help out a captain, but the captain's a bit of a scumbag. There are some moments like, and then he ends up getting shot in the end as well too. Some dark humor bits here and there, but by and large, it's I won't say it's the most memorable thing. I mean, what do you think?
I'm not a fan of the aesthetic.
There we go.
It's like, oh yeah, it's grimdark again. Okay, fine. But at least they are well aware that they are making this direction and they having a laugh with it. At least that's the redeeming factor for the choice of the presentation. Oh, we know the world is shitty. Let's just have fun with it, whatever lah. Even the main character is kind of nonchalant after like catching up with all the what hell happened here. And okay, fine, let's give me that reward. Okay, let's go. Sure.
Yeah,
the fact that they can do like one side quest and it's all about the writing. If you like that kind of writing, I won't say much about it, but if you like that kind of writing, there's a good punchline there. Kind of like, if you like Warhammer, yeah, it's the same Warhammer 40k. It's the same tone of depressing, but also darkly humorous.
Some little jibes here and there. I mean, it may not be for everyone. I mean, I kind of tuned out halfway in the game story, but I think it's mostly the shooting and the modding and the purple and the yellow, the purple and the gold and the blue item sifting around and matching that actually got me playing Outriders more. It's definitely the gameplay, despite the fact that it's only one style of gameplay.
Yeah, we'll wait next week lah. When the first round of patches arrive, crossplay is fixed. We need to rope in Danial.
Yeah,
let's see how his pyro is working. Don't worry.
And we also got to help out Daniel so that we can help him out with his conundrum of the pyromancer conundrum.
Look, if you still die when you are with me, I have no other words.
I mean, we haven't done a Destiny raid before, so you don't know my style.
You hang back lah, you pyro. If you wanna, you switch to the tank lah. If you that gung ho, go for the tank. Go Devastator. It's super fun to play a cover shooter by not playing a cover shooter.
Or if you want to play a true cover shooter, yeah, play Technomancer.
Yeah, and that's fun too, apparently.
Just imagine all the long range damage you can, make hits explode with, especially with the mods that makes other things happen after you make their heads explode.
I guess it's just the in-betweeners is a bit rough there. Is that all for Outriders?
I think so. Quite a game.
Quite a game indeed.
Indeed.
So, yeah, let's move. What other games do we have other games that we want to talk about?
Well, I could talk about one more, like in very brief detail, because yeah, have you guys played this old game called Nier back in 2010?
Yeah, I've played.
Okay. So apparently they're releasing a remaster of the game in the next couple of weeks. I actually got to manage to check out a preview build of the game of that, and yeah, basically it's the kind of remaster that will not make you want to go back. I mean, the good kind of remaster where you don't want to go back to the old game because the new version is superior. So imagine taking the backbone of Nier Automata, a really good action RPG, retain what makes Nier really good, the story, and then you have the remaster basically. You've got like 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second of gameplay, like the smoothness of it. Have the tight controls of a platinum game style game, except it's made by a different developer. And that's your Nier remaster lah. I mean, they call it Nier Replicant version 1.5. It's basically the square root of that number. I'm not going to say
Square root
it.
1.5.
Yeah.
Hold on.
The actual title is super long, so I'm not going to say it.
I have it on me. Version 1.2247444487139 ...
Okay, there you go. So that's the game I played. I've only played like a couple of hours. It's following the same story beats as the original, but they reworked they basically had re-recorded the dialogue. They took the same actors and actresses. Because Laura Bailey plays Kaine, one of the characters in the old game and now the new game as well. So there's some consistency right there. So instead of the old man you use in Nier 2010, they use the young boy Nier, like the Bishojo, the Bishonen Nier, basically the young boy.
No, not
so
Papa
he looks
Nier.
more prettier lah. He looks prettier. Yes.
Rest in peace, Papa Nier.
Yeah, rest in peace, Papa Nier. Yeah, they basically use the young kid. So you got like the different time skips as well, like how it was in the old game, except now you get to see the aging lah, of course. The plot beats are more or less the same for now, but of course the action is more improved. And everything just feels like spot on, like light, heavy attacks, the movement, the transition from the 3D to the 2D stages, like how they did for Nier Automata. But in this case, it's just following beat for beat like the original. But yeah, like Daniel, if you enjoyed, if you hated the gameplay for 2010 Nier, you'll love the remaster basically.
Oh, I like the 2010. It's one of my first games on my original 360.
Okay. So if you played the new version, I don't think you're gonna go back. I can guarantee you that.
Well, I mean the 360 is already dead, so I have no choice.
Yeah, pretty much. You have no choice. So it's good lah that they're actually revisiting this. Based on the trailers I saw, I think there might be like a new additional level they put in. But I'll have to play through the full version eventually lah, which again, the game is coming out on the 23rd of April, which I believe that's the anniversary of the original Nier, more or less, exactly. The same week. I think the first Nier came out in 22nd or 23rd April.
Yeah, around that time. Is Japan release or is it the Western release? I don't remember.
Japan release. So they're following Japan release lah, I guess. Okay. But generally, yeah. Also, it looks good. There's something about the 2010 Nier I didn't like in terms of the aesthetics. It felt very typical lah. That's like the worst kind of generic when I look at it a bit. And then when I play Nier Automata and now Nier Replicant, they're trying to keep the style consistent. So it's a bit more airy, desolate, but consistent and a bit more detailed, if that makes sense. And of course, the 60 frames per second movement helps a lot, especially when you're fighting in the game, when you're transitioning, when you're walking around and doing the little quests here and there and doing the main story. So yeah, so far my initial preview thoughts, pretty good. They're really doing a great job with the remaster. Which also makes me bring up a question, like if Square Enix are planning to do more remasters of their older games in the future. Like, I gotta ask you two guys, were there like any old Square games that are like they came out one shot and then they never heard from again? I mean, was there like a game in their back catalog in the PS2 or the PS3 era which you want to see make a comeback in this form?
Oh
Easy
boy.
easy. Hold on, let me go first. Easy
Okay.
answer, without a doubt, Parasite Eve.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go on.
That's in my head though. But I would okay. If they can make an old game play better, right? I would like to propose the bouncer.
Oh yes, that is a slick choice, man.
Dude, I know that beat 'em up looks good, sounds promising, but came out oof. But
Yeah, very rough.
if
I
they-
think by the time you install the game on the PC, you have finished the game on the PS2, right? It's pretty short. Right.
if they somehow retool that game and make it better, I mean,
Money. Easy money.
I would like to go back to what Daniel mentioned, Parasite Eve, because honestly, Aya has been done dirty in the third game.
Nah, that
piece of
that
shit
doesn't
movie.
exist.
That piece of shit game that came out on the PSP, the third birthday, that's what they call it. Oh my god, what the fuck, man? I think you have to dedicate an episode entirely on how Parasite Eve got crapped on by Square Enix.
oh man.
But I'm holding out a hope that they can actually bring that back in the best way possible. Like make it a third-person shooter like Resident Evil, except with RPG elements, if that makes sense, like Parasite Eve 1. Maybe
Ooh.
tweak the story a little bit so that it can actually incorporate the Chrysalis building as the main plot instead of having it as like a side thing.
Oh, now that you mentioned about Parasite Eve and the combat thing, it reminds me Vagrant Story.
Ooh, yeah, that would be
It
so
reminds me of Vagrant
Yeah.
Story. Man, even on PSR, that game looks gorgeous. Even until now, it stands.
good. Yeah,
But-
even with the PS1 style blockiness, it still has that aesthetic that was like, yep, this is unmistakably a Yasunori. No, sorry. I forgot what the developer that developer with that composer creating that game. You know, that style.
yeah, that group. I believe that group also made Final Fantasy 12.
Oh, Yasumi Matsuno, that's his name. The group who did Tactics Ogre and FF Tactics.
Uh-huh.
Man, I miss his games. I hope that game he's making right now. It was announced recently. It was in an indie show. That RPG is coming out this year with Hitoshi Sakimoto's soundtrack and involvement with Yasumi Matsuno, I believe. It's a PC game, should be coming out like later on, so hopefully that works out well.
Nice.
Maybe if I do a quick search.
Like, while you do that, like I am excited for the new Nier. Sorry that because I know how the ending of the first game goes, which if the the Automata fans play, will probably get their mind blown because this is basically the precursor of I think ending E, ending E or ending F, where everything just gets deleted. I don't remember.
Yes,
Proper.
I know which one I'm talking about. In the first Nier, that holds more weight compared to Nier
Yeah,
Automata.
exactly.
So that's why I would actually put the Nier remaster, if they're following that same plot beats, if they would, I will put the first Nier over Nier Automata in that sense.
I cannot wait to see
Story-wise.
that again. Yeah, I'm just excited to see that again. Like that part is just so good.
It is. Oh, I found the game, Astria Ascending. And actually, it's not Yasumi Matsuno who's writing it. It's the Final Fantasy VII guy, Kazushige Nojima.
Ah.
Yeah, but the artwork is 2D, looks really good. And the music's done by Hitoshi Sakimoto, who is also friends with Yasumi Matsuno in the FF Tactics days and Vagrant Story. So there is definitely pedigree in this title. Astria Ascending.
Yeah. Okay. It definitely has that aesthetic there. Right?
Yeah, you see that? That looks
Mhm.
good. There's also another game probably want to check out, but I don't have an Apple phone. Fantasian.
Fantasia. Yeah.
That'll be the game where I'm just gonna watch it on YouTube, unfortunately.
Yeah, that looks. You know what? Making pre-rendered backgrounds into diorama makes
that
total sense. It's mind-boggling, perfect transition, man. It works
man,
so
when
well.
I saw that reveal trailer, like the one that came out a few weeks ago, my God, I just want to make sweet love to it. It's so beautiful. Like how the characters move around, the backdrop, like the desert, and fighting the boss in the pocket dimension or whatnot. Man, why can't this be out for PC, man?
Apple money, man. We'll have to wait. We'll have to
You
wait.
can't beat Apple money, man. You cannot beat Apple money.
But to be fair, Apple is putting the right money to the right people.
Definitely.
Unlike some other big tech companies. Two, in fact.
Google Stadia, right?
Amazon also.
All right. Okay, let's focus on the positive. Also, oh yeah, Apple Arcade also had a Platinum Games game on there. World of Demons. Oh my God, that's also another game I really want to check out. It's basically what if they took the concept art of Okami and make a completely different action game out of it. It's all watercolor, basically, from Okami, except with new characters. No Amaterasu, of course, copyright and all that, but monsters and fantasy creatures, mystical demons, and samurais fighting against each other in that watercolor 3D style, which looks gorgeous.
Yeah, this was, I think it was announced for a while and then kept quiet and then boom, it's on Apple Arcade. It's there. And I think like a bunch of other games. Interesting.
Good stuff. So yeah, Apple Arcade, kind of making us jealous actually.
Yeah, I think they've got a good thing going.
Yeah. So yeah, just to go back to what we mentioned gameplay wise, I think that's all I've been playing. Nier Replicant. How about you guys? Anything else you've been checking out?
I guess since that is nothing, not really a lot of games besides Outriders.
If so, do we want to go early? It's technically not early, actually. We've talked a lot of Outriders. We totally can move into the news.
I guess, well, I think there's anything else we want to mention about Outriders before we jump ship?
Makes me want to reinstall Division 2.
Wow, okay, that's your review quote right there. Makes you want to reinstall Division.
Nah.
Good thing someone else has done the review.
Yeah, that's why.
Hey, yeah, you've done your review already. Good job.
It is not in my shoulders, so I don't care.
Oh, man.
Well, I would say that I wish the music was a bit more inspirational. I just
opened someone else the F1 podcast or whatever because goddamn the music generic as hell.
Yeah, it's generic as hell from the guy who makes the most generic operatic kind of music. Sorry, dude, but it's not the best kind of music, especially if you're not really putting that much work into it.
The best memorable music tone is that 6 tone that you keep on hearing at the start. Tom, 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 tom. And then nothing.
Oh, because when you're trying to connect with other people, that's the only thing you're hearing.
Every time. It's kind of like Fallout, the Fallout 3 theme, the Fallout 4 theme. You just remember that first part, and then everything just melt into some orchestra ensemble that you might have heard before.
Yeah, from some other game, more or less. Yeah, it's actually from the same guy too. Inon Zur also composed for Fallout 3 and Fallout 4.
Exactly. That's the thing that I kept looking at. How come this sound, the music kind of reminds me of Fallout? Like, the way that it's very memorable and it drops off and then gone.
Yeah, and then you don't remember the rest of the shit that plays during the game except for the sounds of bullets firing and the twisted rounds or whatever popping up.
And then when everything is keep quiet and then the credits roll and then the music blares out and then I start to realize, there's actually some music here.
That's music.
It's the sort of music that you would enjoy listening on their own, on the soundtrack piece, but not while you are doing the video game.
Yeah, strange, right?
Which is kind of weird, but also kind of fitting because this sort of game is the perfect game where you want to put something else in the background, but
like a podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like dia.log.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. News.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna start with a big rumor because that's what we do in this podcast. The big rumor.
Okay, but do you want to like backtrack a few steps? Because I think the story that leads to this rumor, I think it's already a whole story in and
Okay,
of
sure.
itself. Backstep
Sure.
a bit. How did this rumor came to be?
Hmm.
It was from a game announcement.
Yes.
It was a game called Abandoned, coming to the PS5 by a
Yep.
very small, I think a small indie team. I forgot the name. Blue Box something. They don't really have like a big track record, but they've been around. They've announced this game. It looks fantastic. It's a I think it's a they build it as a horror game.
Yep. That's a horror game.
Okay, and from here I kind of lost the plot, but somehow some people in the internet starts conjuring up. I don't know where it comes from, but they are talking about how this game came from nowhere. It looks like a horror game. Do you think this is a Hideo Kojima game? Are they pulling off a Metal Gear Solid 5 reveal again? Is this Moby Dick Studios again? Is there gonna be someone in a bandage coming to doing a interview? Is it? The answer to that is no. If you go to the company's website, they have to put out a disclaimer saying no, they do not have any involvement with Hideo Kojima.
Oh boy.
And then we get to the rumor.
Yeah, and then we get to the rumor.
Because this rumor is dispelling this weird conspiracy theory.
Like after the news that that this is not a Hideo Kojima game, one of the like most prominent journalist leakers, Mr. Jeff Grubb, is that right? His name Jeff Grubb?
Jeff Grubb.
Grubb.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So he said in his podcast that he's not working with Sony because he's currently doing a deal with one company from Seattle named Xbox,
Of course. Okay.
which for me is very like those cats like if a cat's like ice from small to big, that's basically me when I heard that. Ooh. We don't know what game he's making, but I like to think it is the game that he wanted to make with a certain other company that literally recently shut down, which we like to thank very kindly to Google for shutting Stadia Game Studio for shutting it down abruptly as well. What do you guys think? Is there a correlation between Stadia shutting down and Xbox just giving Hideo Kojima a blank check? Ataupun am I reaching here?
It could be. I mean, it could be both. I mean, we don't know what Kojima's mind's usually up to, but he's already done with Death Stranding and with the PlayStation deal earlier on. Now he probably wants like different pastures, like. And if anyone is willing to fund his crazy idea, why not have Xbox do it? I mean, if they have some pocket change after spending so much on Bethesda and also building Xbox Game Pass, then yeah, it would make sense for him. It would make sense for Xbox to, cater to Kojima if he wants to, because it's always the developer's choice in the end.
What are your thoughts on this? Like, I am like very 50-50 on this. like on one side, it is interesting to know that this is happening, and I like to see the tears of Sony fanboys crying right now. Tapi, what are your thoughts?
Look, I have no horse in this race. I haven't pulled my gacha for a new horse, no. So I'm just here eating the popcorn and see what unfolds, because my entertainment from this story development is from the first bit. How wanted this game to. I still cannot believe that people.
I would like Kojima to go back to to go do a horror game, because he technically did not make. I mean, he technically could have made one were it not for that whole Konami fiasco. I mean, if you guys remember Silent Hills, so if you can find some way to go back to doing that, maybe not first person, maybe third person, and something new for him. Like Death Stranding was kind of new when you think about it. And then now with another company who's willing to pay for his crazy dreams, sure, why not? Go for it. I mean, support creativity in that sense, if possible.
Yeah.
And if it makes a lot of his fans happy, sure, go ahead. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, just swing, and hopefully whatever he tries to imply as a message, if in case he becomes prophetic again, is something that we can look forward to in the future.
Please. He already invented the rise of careers delivering stuff in the dangerous environment. Please, something good this time, Kojima-san.
I will say this: Death Stranding is a bad game to review.
Exactly.
But it's a good game to put a podcast on while you deliver shit or build bridges or whatnot. Again, this is why I like about having divisive games, where you either hate it or you love it. I definitely hate it, but I can see why people like it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's better that we know our preferences, why we don't like it and why we like it. And you know what? Some people do not like the whole beach game for everyone that ticks every boxes. You know what we'll get? Another Ubisoft generic game. So
that is like another end of the spectrum.
You better just swing. If it doesn't hit for you, maybe someone else will like it. Why not? I mean, at least we get something to talk about.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Even if you don't like it, like for me, I'm here just watching whatever is unfold. Some games from Hideo Kojima I respect, but it's hard for me to be in the same boat as the fanboys. Because of my first experience from his games is Metal Gear Solid 2. And I was a child back then. It messes me out.
Exactly. Wow.
I was traumatized when I reached the Arsenal Gear sections. When the AI colonel keeps on calling me out, hey, you should take a break. It gave me nightmares. And the stunt where they blank out the screen. Instead of video, it comes Hideo, right? I have the same TV that goes video when the screen blanks out. So that tripped me out big. And then suddenly a lady appeared on the codex. What? What? Man, that was a wild ride.
I still remember the wildest ride where, when the hell am I to control Snake in Metal Gear Solid 2? Oh, I'm stuck right in for the entire time, and would you know it? There's actually a soap opera playing on my codec between Jack and Rose. So like, okay, sure.
Oh my god!
And then you fight a vampire. I was like, okay, I'm interested again somehow. So it's like peaks and valleys, basically. Peaks and valleys.
Yeah, but for me, like everything is like okay. The snake section is okay. The tanker scene is fine, and then everything about the plant is like lower a bit. It's okay, but everything goes haywire by the end. Yes. To me, my favorite part is at the end, and not because of the time they messed me up. It is because of the katana. They gave you a damn katana, and you get to swing it with your analog stick. For me, that was super fun and inventive. I want it more. Hey, the game said, "What? It's already done. That's it."
Yeah, but at least they kind of paid that back in dividends when they released Metal Gear Revengeance, which is like about the same mechanic. Except, Platinum Games did it, and it turned out really well. And it's actually my favorite Metal Gear game of all time because of that's basically the tone that we're going for, and it worked.
Doctor, Hideo Kojima, what a guy.
Yes, I want him to make more games. And I like because there's actually a lot more stories around them that are more entertaining. So worth listening to.
Even if you don't be entertained from what the game tells you, it can be entertaining by the second guy that retells it to you in a wilded, more bewildered with.
Yep.
Uh,
True that.
so, next on
Do
the
you want to
news.
link up this news with the other one which you mentioned, hinted at a while ago?
Ooh. Alright. So tonal whiplash time. So this is recent news. There is a report. I see that right? Report, yes.
Mhm.
Report that Bloomberg, from Jason Schreier, that he has said that Naughty Dog is apparently making a Last of Us remake, not number 2. No, the first Last of Us for the PS5 by a secret San Diego's studio. Is it? Yeah, betul. Yes. Made by it is a very new information, and this is why I'm reading it as as I'm talking right now.
Yeah, this is
Basic,
very recent.
yeah, it's very recent.
Hot off the presses, as they say.
So like I'm right now the newscaster reading off the paper before on a live TV basically. So so basically the gist of it is that they have this very secret Sony San Diego team that were making a remake of a game that I think shouldn't be remake in the first place, because I mean the PS4 version is already fine, but whatever.
Mhm.
This version was actually, according to the report, wasn't fulfilling, so they have given it back to Naughty Dog,
Mm-hmm.
and then they tried to bully Ben Studios into making a Uncharted game, which they say no.
Okay.
And now Ben Studios, the makers of Suamiku Matsumoto, is now making a new game.
The cowards do not want to see a new sequel to Days Gone, aka Suamiku Matsumoto. It could have been called Suamiku Matsumoto 2. Suamiku rempit lagi.
Suamiku rempit naik lagi.
Cowards. But you know what? I'm glad that from the news to hear that Days Gone, for how I think for the longest time have been getting mixed reviews, is now currently profitable for Sony. At least I'm content with that news. Still, like
okay, so
to think about it, best studios are not equipped to make AAA games. They were
No.
like less, I think around hovering like the hundreds when they made Days Gone, and before that they've been just like making appropriately now Uncharted ports. Not Uncharted ports. Is it the Uncharted on Vita?
yeah, Uncharted on
believe-
Vita. It
yeah.
is the Uncharted point.
So they are already getting siloed into the what they say in the Bloomberg report, Naughty Dog North.
Yeah, they were fearing that they might be dissolved into Naughty Dog.
Oh,
So like they said, no, we don't want to work on this new Uncharted anymore. We want to do a new game, and Sony said, okay.
Fair enough.
Like
And
okay,
there's
so
only so much you can do with like Naughty Dog. I mean, we know that these Uncharted games and these Last of Us games, they are. I mean, people are still going to be playing it. So why remake something that was already fine on the PS4?
Exactly.
It's just weird. I mean, if it's considered true lah. I mean, I hope that other rumor where Naughty Dog is making a fantasy game actually is. I hope that one actually comes true lah, because again, new IP, new experiences, new action game,
Right,
or new
yeah.
story. That's always better instead of having the same old sequels and whatnot.
it's like quite ironic that the current head of Sony said that who would play an old game while also greenlighting a remake of a game that people played back in 2013. Very big juxtaposition.
It's just strange. I mean, I hope this is just like. I hope this is like muddled interwaves, and I'm not saying that Jason Schreier did a bad job. He did uncover a lot of things here and there, which is nice, and he's reliable per se. He got sources and whatnot that are reliable, but at the same time, I do wish that this is just, hey, this might be a mistake, and we might probably pivot this remake into another new game with a new title, maybe like the same kind of genre, like action, but something a bit different. Again, new
Oh.
IPs are always going to be championed. But
Yeah. Maybe like if we reveal this, they might cancel the mine. That's the way. That's the thinking there. Because though I prefer the first game better than the second, but I don't want to play this game on let's
that's
say
also,
my
that's also another
PlayStation on my
conversation.
PlayStation 5 basically.
Two more
that's a conversation
generations.
for another time. Yeah.
Give it 2 more generations.
Yeah,
And-
give
and
it
then we
the
can consider.
PlayStation 6.
Yeah. Like not even 6, 7.
Oh, 7, yeah.
7 Pro. We wait until 7 Pro. Then we see The Last of Us remake 2035. Let's see.
Like in another 5 or 6, 7 years, 10 years time or something.
Too early lah for that to be a full remake. But we'll see. I mean, if you see Demon Souls gets a remake for PS3, look at Demon Souls, and then you look
that
at
was
The
10
Last of
years
Us.
ago, dude. So that makes sense.
Some games deserve a remake, some can wait.
Yeah.
So
let's stop talking about AAA games, man. How about we go into our realm? Our very nice AA games. Because one of our most anticipated racing game, Hot Wheels Unleashed, has actually showed some gameplay, and it looks fine.
it doesn't look like a trash fire. It looks decent.
Is this something like Trackmania, like except with the Hot Wheels brand, or what?
Yeah, it feels like that.
Okay,
Definitely.
I didn't expect to say that's true, but I think that's true. But Daniel, finish the whatever you need to say first.
I think I'm already done. Like I'm just saying, like the car physics looks fun because it is an arcade racer, and I think Meck, you want to explain why?
Okay,
the game's
so
fun?
Okay, so here's the thing. The benchmark for a good Hot Wheels game is the PlayStation 1 version of Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. Well, it's also on Nintendo 64, but Hot Wheels Turbo Racing was peak Hot Wheels game. It is an arcade racer. You get to collect Hot Wheels cars. The tracks are fun. The physics are just arcadey as you would like. And it has it has a Metallica song as the intro. I think that's my first heavy metal song that I've heard. It's Fuel. Give me fuel, give me fire.
Give me Double Try Desire. Yeah.
Boom! The Hot Wheels car comes in. Oh man. So with this, Hot Wheels Unleashed, they kind of channel that sort of aesthetic again, where they are basically toy cars. They are, even the design itself is like, it has the plastic seams. The tires look plasticky. The colors are the painting, you can see the flakiness in there, just like your model cars. But they stick a bit with the tracks. They make it wider because the game has brake to drift. You drift and then you get boost, like your usual arcade games are now. Basically burnout lah, to say the least. And the fun bit is, not only do you get like 60 plus different cars, all of them based on the actual Hot Wheels toys. You also have a livery editor, which means you can put a shark girl on the shark car.
Yeah.
There's a little car with a big shark on it, and you can put if you can edit the livery, you can make a shark girl on top of that. And they say, you can download and upload stuff, basically similar to like all of the arcade games. And because of the Hot Wheel tracks, you also get to customize the tracks. You make your own tracks.
20,000 loop racetrack. Let's go.
Yeah, Trackmania released that. But the most fun of the reveal of the gameplay is that they put it on the gameplay reveal. They put away. They showed one of the scene where you jump, you boost, and then you jump, and you like cut like a whole chunk of the track. Basically, you're taking a non-explicit shortcut. Basically, you're doing speedrun tech, and they show it as official gameplay. The Madlets. That's just ballsy, man. I'm looking forward to this. This has me excited more than it should.
Do you know who developed it?
Milestone. It's the guys that made the MotoGP games, the bike racing games. Also, they used to make racing games back in the MS-DOS days. They've made...
so that's pedigree for they basically have the credentials to make a good racing game.
Oh yeah, I've played the MS-DOS game called Screamer back in the 90s. That was my first MS-DOS game. Apparently it was 3D.
That was from the team? I think I might have played Screamer. I think I might have played. Let me double check.
They didn't call themselves Milestone back then, but like Screamer 2, I think, or Screamer 3, they changed it to Milestone. Basically the same team.
Oh, okay. Holy crap. I did play
the one with the rocket car.
Yeah, Virgin Interactive published this. Okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I remember playing this a lot. Okay.
I'm not
I
sure.
think I remember, like, if you lose, there'll be the guy, the announcer will be like, loser! And then you gotta feel like you want to play the course over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this looks really good. Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah, it's more than you expect as a license cash in. No. I think it has the potential to be actually decent.
Okay.
I mean, it's a while since we got a good Hot Wheels game. I say it again. It was the last good game is on the PS1.
Yep.
We don't talk about the PS3 and PS3 games. It was terrible.
I mean, the World Race one is kind of interesting to the fact that the developer of that moved on to become Black Rock Studios and made Split Second. But that's about it. It. Yeah. I may have known too much things about very specific about Hot Wheels games, but yeah. Let's move on.
Alright. This news, like, I'm gonna put it on the last one. So we're just gonna talk about the fourth news on our list.
Okay.
Street Fighter 5, Meck's favorite fighting game. An update.
How dare you
that's
throw me
mine
under the bus
right now. I mean, the one that I'm playing the most as of late.
Yeah.
New
characters?
New characters. Ooh.
Yeah, new characters. So they showcased Oro for the first time in the Street Fighter 5 engine. He's at Hermit in Street Fighter 3. He still fights you with one arm, but he's holding a turtle in the other.
Oh, double boy.
He's powerful. He has a handicap.
Yeah, he's basically powerful with two hands, so he basically wants to level the playing field by fighting with just one hand. That's the story lah.
Mm-hmm.
So he has I believe he's still a charge character based on how the gameplay looked. He still has his old moves. He's got his charge fireball. He's got that stomp. He's got that uppercut, the vertical anti-air, and he's got a new two-hit kick move where I think it's meant to be like a combo ender to push enemies away because he needs some of the keep away moves. And his V skills involve him throwing a slow-moving projectile so that he can cover more ground. I'm not sure what the other V skill is, but I know his V trigger is from his from the last game he was in, where he summons a bunch of objects. They float around him. When he lands a hit, it follows up the objects hit the opponent like in succession, basically. So imagine the satellite going around Oro to complement his hits. And his other V trigger is a command grab. So he gets access to a command grab he can combo from. So he can do like a 1, 2, 3 hit combo. Follow up with a command grab, deals a lot of damage basically.
Command grab and on feet. Okay.
For Oro, yeah. Basically you press high punch, high kick, the same buttons used to V trigger to initiate the command grab. So do a combo, press HP, HK, that's your combo ender right there for big damage. So he's meant to be like a very interesting experimental technical character, like Guile, but not quite. He's a bit more unique and a bit faster. Oh, he's also got his double jump from the last game from Street Fighter 3.
Shoot, okay.
Yeah, so you can basically like jump forward, you can jump back or jump again or jump neutral to trick the opponent. So if you're interested in that kind of tricky characters, Oro will be the guy you want to main or experiment with. Rose plays like how she did sort of in Street Fighter 4, except for her V skills and the V trigger. Her V skill now she can summon a satellite for one of her options, but it's a slow startup. So it's like that. So it's like that Ultra 2 she had in Street Fighter 4, except it starts up really long. So you have basically knocked down the opponent, then you activate it so that you have like backup protection lah, basically. And her other V skill is she gets to throw random cards at the opponent. Sometimes they buff your character, and sometimes they attack your opponent, lower their attack or lower their defense. It's all kind of randomized, but you can see which card you're going to throw by looking at the bottom where your super meter is. You get to see which card is going to be next. And Rose can actually shuffle the cards lah, which of course means that there's a bit of a cooldown for that, like a startup. So don't do that when your opponent is still standing, because he can probably counter you. And her V triggers are pretty useful. In fact, one of her V triggers, one of them, she actually can teleport anywhere behind you. I think there are two uses for this. Two uses because it's two V trigger bars. But you can teleport at the back behind your opponent, or on top, or in the middle of the screen, anywhere basically. And then the other V trigger is she basically gains back her soul illusions. I mean, have you played? You played Alpha 2, right? Alpha 1, Rose.
I don't touch Rose, so
okay. You might have thought. You might have remembered where she summons a bunch of clones.
Okay.
Okay, that's her V trigger too. She summons a clone, so any attack she lands, it'll be a combo basically. So if you like Ganejin from Street Fighter 3, all the shadow clones. So basically, you want to use her to do more combos lah. You hit an opponent once, the shadows actually combo from there. So you get up to 5 hits, I believe. So you can do like 20 hit combos basically if you have an opening. And you can actually activate the V trigger when you land a hit, so you can actually continue a combo from there. So it's very, very practical to use. So yeah, I think Rose is going to be like not quite a Shoto character, but not quite a unique character, like in between. And she still has an old slide move, and I think her medium punch is probably still, her crouching medium punch is still pretty strong for this one.
Okay.
But the best surprise is seeing Akira from Rival Schools. You can see her gameplay in this particular stream. So she seems to be like you want to say something?
Daniel, look her up. Look Akira up.
Alright, I want.
Akira
Rival
from Rival
Schools,
Schools. I think you'll enjoy what you see of her.
Yeah, basically she fights like how she did in Rival Schools. She's like a rushdown-ish character. And they did showcase that when she launched someone in the air, she'll do her Rival Schools air combo, which is pretty cool. And then as one of her special moves, I think she can summon her brother Daigo. Where basically she summons her brother. Daigo pops up from the sky, does a ground pound attack, and does a Dragon Ball charge attack, I think. A charge attack. And then he just leaves the screen. It's like in a very badass fashion. And then Akira's just waving at her brother. Bye-bye, you know.
She's already badass, but then she's being out a badass, even more badass brother.
Yes. She's cool. Got her old moves back, make tailored for Street Fighter 5. We'll find out more details about her probably in the next few months or so.
Yeah.
And then the Rose is gonna be coming out on April the 19th, and Oro will probably be the next month. You know, that's how these characters roll out. The season pass rolls. New characters per month. So yeah, really good incentives for you to get the season pass.
Yeah.
Which I think is about 100 RM or less. I don't quite remember. But I know there's probably going to be a Steam sale happening soon. So maybe if you're not that hyped up, you can save your money for that time lah.
Yeah. Good to see Street Fighter 5 still going strong.
Yeah, I mean, she had a rough start, but it's in a really good place right now.
Yeah.
Okay. From one anime game to another, we have Neo will ends with you. Is that right? The name?
Yeah, that's correct. That is actually the sequel to The World Ends With You back in 2010. It's a game with character designs by Tetsuya Nomura, whom I'm sure you're familiar with.
Oh,
The belt and everything. But the story and gameplay is all done by other people from Square Enix. And the original game was actually really inventive and unique. Like, this is like the kind of game that would have come out during the PS1 Square Enix era. Like, that kind of creativity. Like you play a character who has to escape the death game within like 7 days. If you don't complete the game, you die. That sort of thing, and you're stuck in Shibuya. So the sequel takes place in Shibuya and Shinjuku, and you have more people to fight with, like all new cast and everything. But it's the same kind of story where you have to escape the game of death within 7 days. With colorful graphics lah. And
Oh, it looks so stylish. Also reminiscent of a certain other game. I mean, it's coincidental because I think the original World ends with you already have this sort of style dialed in. Now
it's now 3D graphics, but I think most of the cutscenes are all 2D, like how it was in the old games. And they try to preserve the 2D-ness with like the outlines and everything. I want to see how it really plays in combat, because that's probably going to be a deal breaker for me if the combat sucks. Because I had fun with The World Ends With You because of the combat and the story. I mean, every part of it works really well. Like the gameplay, the story, the music especially, and the art style. So I hope this sequel would, do it justice lah.
Yeah.
Did you guys play the original The World Ends With You?
Unfortunately for me, I didn't. Of all the games that I've managed to convince my other friend who had a Nintendo DS, I didn't grab this one. I grabbed Professor Layton and GTA Chinatown Wars instead. But this was on that list, but tak sempat.
I do have that on my 3DS.
Oh, okay. That would be good to play.
Yeah, should start a playthrough.
Yeah, I think you have the better version because the original DS one was good, but I think the 3DS one had like extra content, if I recall.
Okay.
Yeah, so good stuff. And yeah, I got a new cast of characters. They are all in line with how the original game was. Some old characters like Neku and the 2 Reapers from the first game also appear. Your party members are like kind of typical lah. You got the leader character, you've got the overachiever character, you got the cool character, and then you've got the weebo girl lah. Her name is Nagi. I think she looks like she came out from Persona. I think she's like a grape-flavored version of Futaba from Persona 5. Dude, go to the PlayStation blog for the World Ends With You. You look at a character, you'll be like, yeah, this is Futaba all the way, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. We'll wait for you.
I'm already reserving that on the thumbnail now. Flavored Futaba.
Flavored.
Oh my god.
All that soda talk before that. Oh man.
Yeah. And even when I look at all the art and everything, like the cutscenes, is like, yeah, this is Futaba. She's talking about games. She's obsessed with it. She's angry if you do something with her games. It's like, yeah, they're just copying pasting from that character. But hopefully she's more fleshed out lah in the full game.
We'll see. It's coming out on PS4.
Yeah, PS4 and Nintendo Switch. It's kind of sad they ditched like the 2-screen gameplay, but then it wouldn't make sense because if it's coming out for PS4 and Switch, it has to be a 1-screen kind of mechanic. But
Wonder 101 did have 2-screen mechanics and it was terrible. On the PS4, I've played it.
Oh, okay. It somehow worked if the world ends with you. Like some characters don't work, but most of the characters they're fine. Neku's mechanic and Reaper's mechanic. I think his name, the guy who played at the last third of the game, that mechanic worked. So it really depends.
Right. So coming into the tail end, so we have 2 news. One of which is Street of Rage 4 getting a DLC.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Okay, I guess I could go for this. Yeah, so there's actually a trailer that came out yesterday, like a really short one. After the developers and the publishers .mu mentioned that we'll release DLC if we have time. Apparently they are working on DLC. So they're gonna bring in a new character who was actually a boss from the first game. Estel, the cop. You play Streets of Rage 4, right? You guys?
I've seen people play Let's Play of it.
Okay. So the cop you fought in the game, she's a playable character. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
she's like the
All
most.
right, now I know.
Like, I think she's pretty badass, dude. Like, you fought her twice. She's got the cool moves, and everything. Like, I wish you could play her. Now you can play as her when the
All right.
DLC comes out. And I think you can
Quite
also
different,
summon the
yeah.
cop car like she did when she was the boss. So that would be kind of cool. Survival mode is going to be a thing. I believe they didn't mention much about this, but I assume it's going to be like, you got a time limit, kill these dudes as fast as you can, or survive as long as you can.
Objective, survive.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep. Character customization. They introduced this new thing where you not only can change the color of your characters, but you can also change their movesets a bit. So they did preview like Blaze. She has that somersault kick. You can actually change it to a somersault that goes up vertically like an uppercut. But you have to basically exchange that with the previous somersault lah. So different moves, different skill sets. I think Axel has a new kind of move where he throws a fireball from his uppercuts. And I think he's got an anti-air move, I believe. Oh, and Floyd has like a move you can change where his AoE attack covers the entire screen. So that would actually be kind of cool. And what else? New soundtrack, of course. Tee Lopes will be contributing to that. It's the guy who made music for the Sonic Mania games.
Okay, now I know who that is. Like,
Yeah.
I never like searched the name for the Sonic Mania guy. So nice to know his name now.
Yeah. He's actually a big Sega mark, so you can tell from his lovely remixes and the compositions from Sonic Mania. So he's doing Streets of Rage, so I guess there's a correlation there lah. A really good correlation. And they did tease 2 new characters, which they're basically the characters you saw in the first Streets of Rage 4. Because you can tell from the silhouette, is most likely Max and Shiva.
It's nice.
Yeah, that's really good. Because like when it comes to making this DLC, especially when it comes to smaller teams, you're gonna be reusing a lot of assets. And it's a matter of how. I mean, you can actually make a great expansion out of reused assets as long as you can disguise it right and you can make it look good. Because you gotta remember, the developers for this, the name escapes me. Gut Crush, Gut Counter, Gut Crush Games, and Lizard Cube and .mu. They're not exactly a big team, so they have to basically be creative with the tools they have. So to make a DLC with this boost set, if you make a really meaty one with familiar assets but make the game kind of new, then you got a really good expansion. Like, it's just a matter. I mean, we know we're going to reuse assets. It's just a matter of how well you use it.
And it's totally fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine as long as the DLC itself is worth the money and worth the replayability. Which, if it's anything like the first game, I'm sure it will lah. That would be really good. Because I think I spent about 50 hours on Streets of Rage 4.
Wow.
Because I was playing with other people, playing solo, getting achievements, asking my friends to help me get the achievements, you know. And then I still play a bit more here and there just to, see if I'm... Because there was an update that popped up recently. Wanted to see how Axel fared because he was actually the weakest of the characters. Kind of got buffed up really well, so glad to know that they're still paying attention lah. So for you guys who love 2D beat 'em ups, especially 4-player beat 'em ups, that you can play online as well, especially during these kind of times. It's a really fun game. Definitely fun. One of my top 5s for last year. And hopefully it'll get better lah with the DLC.
Right. So, the second last news of the day. This one I'm actually quite interested as well. No More Heroes. They showcase like this very weird ass interview session with with Suda51.
Yep.
What's the other guy named Mafia something?
Mafia. What? Sujita.
Yeah, and Hololive VTuber Shiro Botan.
Botan. I keep seeing so many comments like, what is Botan doing there? Is she a fan? I'm guessing, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, they showcase like new gameplay for No More Heroes 3, which is coming, and they also release some info for their super special version, their Killion Dollar Trilogy, which is all 3 games for the Switch.
His name is Mafia Kajita.
God damn, that's a
Gajita.
good name. That's a good name.
He's a celebrity. Oh wow, okay, that's a baller name, man.
Yeah,
That's a
he's
baller.
the writer for Gamer SP.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've seen it in the Persona streams. Yeah, okay. Now I know who he is. Alright. So basically, they showcase some of the gameplay, the jobs that you're gonna do, and I think it looks quite interesting.
Oh
Because-
yeah, they still have that same aesthetics from the last few games, but made for 2021. You fight aliens this time instead of assassins.
Yep.
Because apparently there was an ET scenario that kind of played out at the start of the stream where there was an ET moment, the alien goes back and then comes back 20 years as an adult with his
Oh
gang.
yeah, I love
That was funny, dude.
Yeah,
That
I
was
remember. Yeah, it's like first Studio GB style just start like that's amazing. I really like the uniqueness of that.
Yes. And then Travis touchdown has to clean up that mess together with Shinobu from the last two games. She's the African American ninja. And Batgirl, who was apparently dead in the first game because you killed her, but somehow she came back to life because of
course.
the Travis Strikes Again game. That the extra side game that came out. Travis
Ooh.
Strikes Again.
Yeah, people need to play that. That game is pretty good. That is half a game and half a meta commentary on Suda's current, like maybe what's it called? The history. Because that's really good game.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. They actually had that recap of No More Heroes all the way to even Travis Strikes Back. That was pretty interesting.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh yeah, the Killion Dollar Trilogy. It's basically like 3 games, part 1, part 2, and part 3. All in a package in a sweet little artwork box. And I think it's going for 9,800 yen when it comes out in August, I believe.
Yeah, that's Alan. Quickly, that is that's 3,000. That's like 9,800 yen, right? So
Yeah, that should be about 100 US or so.
yeah, that's like $400.
Yeah.
God damn.
If you're a true fan, I mean, if you really like No More Heroes and want to play all 3 of them on the Switch, this would be probably the best one to get in a physical form.
Still better than buying a PS5 game in 2021. At least you get 3 games this time for the same price.
Yes.
I may buy just for the $3 Killion name.
Yeah. That's a killer name, Killion Dollar.
Of course they've done it.
Yeah.
course,
Newsflash, there are more games on the Switch than they are on the PS5. So
Yeah.
since you brought up PS5, how many months has it been since there's been a new PS5 game? Like an exclusive?
Last it
3
was
months? 4 months?
yeah 3 months because Spider-Man came out in November. So
I mean, that's launch. That's a launch title.
I think 4 months. Yeah, 4 months.
Yeah. And yeah, that's crazy, man. 3-4 months on a new console without that many games to play.
While Xbox already have like 1. They have 1 out of 0. Out of 0, they have 1. The medium.
Oh,
So-
right. But yeah, if you paid for the game, for the Game Pass, there's actually a bunch of new shit and you can play for
Yeah.
free.
So Ooh, they bring back the ramen shop. I'm looking at some gameplay from you guys' site. They brought back the ramen shop. Ooh.
Oh yes, the ramen shop. Yes, good stuff. Yeah, looking forward to that. Can't go wrong with Suda 51. Weird ass stuff, weird combat, meta commentary stuff popping in back and forth.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the alien names. I believe one of them is FU. Is it Fu or FU?
Oh yeah.
Fu John Baptist the Seventh. Mr.
Yeah,
I can understand the fool, but why John Baptist the
That's why.
Let me just double check.
Tom
There's
Baptist
also,
7, better known as FU, is the Supreme Galactic Leader of the Superhero Corps. Yep.
Oh man, yeah, that's
and Mr. Black Hole and Gold Joe. Those are the aliens. The aliens that are revealed right now.
Such
Oh my God.
choice names, man.
Yeah. Oh, and Travis Touchdown can transform into a Sentai hero if
Of course.
if let's just say, because when you kill enemies like in the first and second game, you get like a jackpot thing. And you usually get like the same icons or like 777, you get like a bonus. In this particular sequel, if you get 777, Travis Touchdown can transform into a superhero. And that entails
Yes.
probably better attacks and lasers and shit lah, you know?
Yeah, bro. From an assassin killing heroes to now being an actual hero. What a turn.
Superheroes. Don't forget.
Yeah, what
heroes.
is what a turn.
Yes.
See, otakus, you too can be like Travis Touchdown.
You too can have a family if you put your heart to it and kill
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Weeps have a future.
Yes. Yeah, and funny enough, Suda51 did make mention about like he has been a recent fan of not Injustice, sorry. Oh yeah, Suicide Squad and there was another DC movie, Justice League or something. Something along those lines, because I think that's what probably inspired him to put the superhero kind of storyline with for No More Heroes 3. He mentioned a lot of superhero films during the stream. So you can expect some like commentary like, oh, why are all these moves so expensive and why are there so many sequels or whatnot? So many movies to follow up or keep track. All those jokes will probably start coming in this game.
And finally, our final news segment. In our very long news segment here, the delay games round 3.
Of course.
So this again another 2 games. This time coming in from 2 studios. Firstly, we have Lego Star Wars. The Skywalker Saga has been delayed to. There's no date, due date this time.
No.
There's like when they've done the Cyberpunk when it's ready.
Okay.
You know what's surprising?
What?
If you look back at the Wikipedia page, right, for TT Games, the developer, I believe for a good 2 or 3 years, they've been releasing 2 Lego games per year.
What? Oh my god.
They have
a
2
factory,
teams to make Lego games. Yeah. But I think like for this year or last year, they haven't no, I believe last year they haven't released a Lego game yet. And this was supposed to be that Lego game for 2020, but now it's moved to 2021.
Oh no, the cycle has been broken.
No, what I'm saying is that Lego Star Wars is so important to them. I mean, it kicks off the whole franchise.
Yep.
That they are willing to like pull in all the resources and make it right. So
And also a dependable cash grab given the license and how family friendly the Lego games are usually, because you can drop in, drop out co-op usually.
oh yeah. But this one is like, we want to nail this one. We've been cash grabbing like for so long. Now it's like, okay, we're gonna pull it all together, and that's what I believe. Like, it's probably some mismanagement or something like that, but we'll see.
And let's not forget also COVID-19. I mean, for some countries, they're still kind of restrictive in letting people go out, despite how free it can get. Maybe.
Yeah, productivity go down right now. Understandable.
I think that's also the case with Arcane Studios, right? With Deathloop.
It's the second game.
Yeah.
Arcane Leon has announced a delay of Deathloop, the PS5 game, to the 14th of September. So, as of As of 10th of April, at the time recording, the only game that you're going to get for the PS5 is Returnal. How do you pronounce that? Returnal? Renewal? Returnal. Yes.
Don't forget Oddworld Soulstorm also out for PC.
Yeah. So the current tally of next gen games for both Xbox and PS5 are 5.
Wow.
As of April, 5 games.
Yeah.
So the medium is in February. So Returnal 2, Oddworld 3, Yeah, I think like 5 because MLB is coming out, so that's 4. That's next gen, so that's 4.
Oh,
Oh
shoot,
right.
MLB.
Oh yeah, that is next month, is it? Or this month?
Yeah, this month, end of this month.
Okay. That's quite a win. I mean, wasn't that supposed to be like a PlayStation title?
Yep.
It's coming to Xbox Game Pass.
That's right.
Oh man. Oh, such a home run.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Deathloop is okay. I mean, personally, I was already clearing the whole of me for this game, but if it's delayed, then it's fine. I now have an excuse to check out Mass Effect, I guess.
Yes. All stuff. Yeah, that makes it 5. That is how forgettable the game is.
Yeah, I was
Destruction.
waiting for you guys to mention Destruction All Stars. Oh,
So that's 5 games that, as of right now,
Yeah, that forgettable, huh?
the handling's fun, but the rest is eh. And I think that is it for this podcast.
unless someone wants to see the usual update.
Still no Bloodborne PC, but it's already 60 FPS Bloodborne for the PS5 is already launched illegally, and
Oh
yet
yeah. There's a mod or
Bloodborne
something,
PC.
right?
People are so desperate for that. We've started modding consoles. I mean, technically, it's the other way around, but still, man.
And they're gonna keep doing that and going the high seas route, especially with certain stores online closing down for older consoles.
Oh yeah. Oh, you guys better, if you want to buy stuff on the PS3, so better buy it now because oh man, re-downloading this visiting the I just remember opening up the PlayStation Store app on the PS3 is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
But once you in there, it's much more fun than the PS4.
Oops.
Because when you tap the buttons, it just like smoothly loads without like waiting like 2 to 3 seconds until up the JPEG appears. It just appears already. But man, the initial load is like ooh. And also re-downloading the games will be a hassle. The UI for like when the PS Store is down, the UI to like scroll through your library of games that you can download is like, oh man, that's so small of a space. I cannot tell which version of Metal Gear Solid 4 should I download because for whatever reason I have Metal Gear Solid 4 English version and the Japanese version, but the title is so long I cannot see which one is English or Japanese.
Oh yeah, I really hate that. I mean, you can't even scroll it.
The chaos.
It doesn't scroll, and the only interaction on that menu you have is like download. So you just gamble 2070 gigs, or you look up the art image. At least the art image is different.
Yeah, thank God for that. I mean, there was no way you could tell.
Yeah, better do it now while you can. So, that is the show. That's the podcast. And let's wrap it up with what are we gonna put on the thumbnail? What the silly stuff that we can put? I've already bookmarked grape-flavored Futaba on there.
Futaba. Oh god, this jelly bean sour. I guess Outriders.
Outriders. I guess either one's fine. You can combine the two if you want. There'll be an interesting mashup. One serious game and one weebu game.
And then put a small Hideo Kojima on the right side. Just looking.
Interesting stuff. Interesting. It's okay. We'll come up with some stuff later on. So, how about we promote our social links? What do you guys? Where can people find you, and what kind of content you have in store, upcoming or otherwise?
Okay. I guess I'll start.
Yep.
Yes, MrToffee here. Just check out our stuff at thekkp.com, the website. We got a YouTube page, YouTube/Kakuchopurei, KAKUCHOPUREI. We've got a couple of soundscape stuff popping up involving fighting games. And I think that's about it, unless there's some streams and gameplay stuff. Oh, probably Resident Evil Village stuff popping up too. So
Vampire
and then tall vampire lady action. Yes. And in the next couple of weeks, I believe after Nier Replicant comes out, we are gonna have a bunch of walkthroughs popping up. So if you want to see how the game really looks in this new version, just wait till the game comes out so we can check out what we have in store. And if you want to check out what we have right now concerning Nier Replicant, I got a preview out already. You can check it out on our website and on our channel. And I think that's about it. Oh yeah, I did an Outriders loot guide, basically. I mean, a farming guide lah. Hopefully they don't patch it out. Released it a couple of days ago. It's basically about like the steps by steps on how to get more titanium and more purple loot especially when you have a high world tier lah. So yeah, go check that out. And on Twitter, I guess it's MrToffee lah. Twitter on MrToffee. That's all I got.
All right. So, hi, I'm Danial. You can follow me on twitter.com at FL4KY. My head is right now quite empty, hence why it is very out of shape. I think I might be playing a certain motorcycle game that's coming out perhaps in the next episode. A certain game called MotoGP 21.
Now with no respawns.
Oh yes! Oh thank God.
No more respawns. What a feature!
No more respawns. You crash. You pay
get
the
up.
price.
You get up and get on that bike.
The road rash. Finally, someone noticed the road rash anyway. So yeah, expect a review coming out. Before Raya, I guess. Fingers crossed.
I mean, we have a whole month to go before Raya.
Yeah.
It's starting soon, by the way.
Yep.
Anan? Oh, is
I'm barely here anyway.
Yeah, and then also has the head empty moment like me.
He's in the VR chat probably still.
No, I'm already out.
Oh, okay.
I'm already out. yeah, for a while. Yeah, I have nothing anyway for this week.
It's okay. We will have more episodes to come. I don't know when we're gonna stop this.
No.
Yeah, but it's good listening to you guys talk. Yeah,
It's
always good.
One live audience.
Oh, the actual live audience. Patutlah
Live audience.
Stumbling the words.
Yeah.
We don't. This is already our starting for the next Clubhouse session. We just do it on Discord. You just come in, you put on mute, and wait. There is already coming a feature on Discord, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Never mind that. At least we can do that in the future if there is an audience. Hopefully there are. And I have been Amirul Macronos Ashraf, MECKRONOS. As we've mentioned before, there's a review on GamerMatters.com for Outriders. There's a lot of points to go through there. Some bits are interesting, so go check it out if the 30-minute talk here is not enough. And there you go. That's dia.log, the Gamer Matters podcast. And
Don't forget to play Disco Elysium. It got new expansion.
God, why do you need to stick this at the end? we could spend 10 minutes on this one, man.
Maybe next episode. Next episode.
Next episode. Oh man,
We'll get in the deep.
Oh yeah, happy fasting everyone. Good luck.
Yeah, happy fasting.